Great results. You want great results. We all do. And when it comes to great results, you want great results in your health, your finances, maybe your home, your organization. If you have a business, you want great results in all those areas. Now, there are multiple ways of achieving great results, but one of the core ways of doing this is by practicing a principle known as less is more. And I'm sure you've heard that idea dozens of times, hundreds of times perhaps. Less is more. And normally when you hear this idea, you get a list of rules. This is how you practice less is more in your life. Well, what I want to do today is actually explain the mechanics of how less is more. How having less or doing less is going to create more of a great result. That's the key idea. All right, so once you understand the mechanics of how this works and not just get a set of rules, then you'll be able to apply it intuitively in various areas of your life. And I'm going to explain it to you using a metaphor of a funnel. Okay, the funnel of life. So this funnel has three different parts to it. And I'm sure you've seen a funnel in your life. And so you'll know how this applies as we go through this. Now at the top of the funnel, that is the widest area of the funnel. That's the biggest opening, isn't it? Now in life, that is your willingness to allow stuff into your life. So this is the demands, the projects, the stuff, the things that you allow into your life. You have this wide opening at the very top of your funnel. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but what happens next? Well, at the bottom of this funnel part right here, you have a narrow opening. That narrow opening is your limited time, energy, and resources. So you've got all this stuff that can exist in the opening of your funnel. You can accept a whole bunch of stuff in your life, but at some point, it's going to have to be processed by your limited time, energy, and resources. Ultimately, that's the second part of the funnel. And the third part is ultimately you want something coming out the bottom of the funnel. That's what we're going to call a great result. Now, let's talk about how this works the proper way and how it doesn't work the proper way. To work properly, if you have just enough stuff coming into the top of a funnel, what happens? Well, it gets processed by this narrow spot and something comes out the bottom. That is the proper way a funnel works. But what can happen if you overload it? If you try to pack so much stuff at the top of the funnel, then this limited space here, this narrow space here, is not going to be able to process it. And you're going to get a clog, and then nothing of value is going to come out the bottom. It's the same thing with life. If you just allow several or a few things into your life, then you'll be able to process it with your limited time, energy, and resources to the point where the end result is you're going to get a great result. You're going to see something flow out of your life as a result of processing that thing. But if you try to pack so much stuff into something, your life, other areas of business, if you try to pack so much into it, then that limited time, energy, and resources that you have is going to get overwhelmed. And guess what? You're not going to produce any kind of result. Or if you do, it's going to be very limited. It's going to drip out of here as opposed to flow out of there. So what you want to achieve is less stuff into your funnel so you can process it and get great results. That's the whole point. And hopefully you understand how this can work. Now, how can you apply this in everyday life? Well, the most common way is stuff, right? So you want to have less stuff in your life, but use it to the fullest. You don't need 6 appliances that do the same basic idea or the same basic thing when one will work, and figuring out how to get the most use out of that one thing, one great result from that thing, as opposed to packing your life with just stuff, clothes, appliances, things. Focus on getting a great result with what you already have, with the less that you have. The second way that you can practice this is mastery. Now, there are opportunities to learn all kinds of things today, but it's better to focus on less. Learning less, mastering less. Why? Because when you do that, Your limited time, energy, and resources can process it, and you can start creating a great result from mastering fewer things, fewer apps, fewer skills, fewer hobbies. Learn to master those so you can create a great result. Another way that you can practice this concept is speaking. So when you're talking to somebody, communicating with somebody, you don't have to fill that communication with a bunch of words, because what happens is you start affecting their funnel of life. If you start packing what you're saying with all kinds of words and just ideas and concepts, then you're going to overload their funnel. They're going to not be able to process it properly, and you're not going to get the great result that you want. It's better to use fewer words, but make them more impactful. Focus on fewer words so you can get a great result. Now, another area that maybe you don't think about, but something that's dear to me, is design. If you run a business, sometimes it's easy to want to overwhelm people with all your credentials, all the things that you've ever done, all your awards, and you put these on your business card, on your website. The first time that a visitor comes by, they see every single service that you provide, and it overwhelms their funnel to the point where they can't process it, and you're not getting the result that you want, the call to action. So it's better to have fewer things in your business cards, your website, your billboards, whatever it may be, marketing in general. Fewer things. What's the core idea that you want to convey? What core emotion do you want to achieve? Focus on that so they can process it and you can get a great result. This is how the funnel of life works. Hopefully you understand it to the point where you can really start benefiting from it. All right. So I hope you found this useful, and I hope you have an amazing day.